Okay, we're gonna look at the kindred games today. Gonna delete these. Yep, Marty McFly, kindred main. Yep, okay. So right off the bat, I like that the OBGG is looking pretty clean. It's all you're only playing this one champion, and that's really important. Champion mastery is really important. The reason why champion mastery is really important, especially for this level of play, is because you get to become more comfortable with how much damage your champion deals. And for example, the clearing bit is the most important thing I talk about all the time. Is that when you play this champion a lot, it's going to become much easier for you to clear on the champion, and that's going to allow you to actually focus on the game and focus on the things you need to do outside of just the basic clear. If you're picking up new champions here and there, and it's like you have to always focus on, you have to relearn kind of the basic stuff of the game. So obviously, yeah, champion mastery is really important. There's a lot of resources on Saltu, for example, if you still have an active membership on Saltu. You can look at, for example, the champion identity page, so you can learn a bit more about the kindred champion identity. That's not something I'm going to cover here if you have access to that stuff as well. And he also talks a lot about champion mastery. And another good thing on the Saltu resource page is the Saltu scene. So that's something you want to look for. What those 3 articles on Saltu resources for you. You can look them up on the web page. I think you can just search for them and they're going to show up. Yep. I'm just gonna close these things here. Yep, I don't think there's anything really other to consider about this OPGG. I like that you're always going for the same mythic. That's also not the important thing, which kind of comes back to the champion mastery. Just stick to the same runes, stick to the same items, stuff like that, so you actually get comfortable with them. Yep, this is good. Yep, really nothing to talk about the OPGG here. Yeah, so let's move on to the game then. You use something, I don't know what this is, replace lol. Okay. Yep. So actually, do we see the tab here at all? Well, we do see the enemies here. So again, we can talk about a bit of the matchups. So top matchup, what we recognize here, we have double melee matchup. What that means for us when we are playing carry junglers and melee junglers, it's going to be volatile. It's going to be volatile. So these guys will trade a lot since they are 2 melee champions, so they are really close to each other. So when they are lasting minions, they're just going to be trade a lot. Trading a lot. Bound to get low in health. So again, we can look for really easy gank opportunities. Really easy gank opportunities. So melee matchup, they're going to trade a lot. Pretty easy for us to look at that. So then we can look at the jungle matchup. We are playing against Sylas. Sylas wants to gank a lot. Sylas wants to skirmish a lot. Yeah, so probably what we end up doing is we kind of match this Sylas a lot, and we're gonna fight with him a lot. So that's another thing we can expect from Sylas. Sylas is a gankable jungler. He's going to be ganking a lot. So basically how you need to consider that is when you're moving for these early ganks, you have to consider, okay, where is the Sylas? Is he able to come here and stop me? Because he likes to go for these ganks as well. For example, if we're playing against something like Karthus, Hecarim, what they like to do, on the other hand, they like to full clear their jungle, and that's another thing you can look to punish. For example, you can get away with these early ganks without getting punished for it or getting counter ganked. So in this kind of situation, you always want to put a really big emphasis on jungle tracking. Emphasize jungle tracking to avoid heading into unfavorable 2v2s, 3v3s, etc. And these are also really important when you're heading for the scuttle, because gank heavy jungle like this, they don't want to hit their camps, they want to get the scuttle. Scuttle is a free camp for them. So again, like when we are approaching the river at 3 minutes of the game, think about, okay, there's the jungler, is he gonna come here and stop me? He's going to want to contest your scuttle. Again, because he's a gank heavy jungler, they always love the scuttles. Yep. Mid matchup, we have 2 range characters, so this is the exact opposite of what's happening top lane. So in this matchup, for example, I'm not expecting that heavy trading, and again, it's not that likely that we're gonna find kill opportunities in this line, because again, range champions, they can see us a lot more safer than these double melee matchups in the top lane, for example. Double ranged, they can last it a lot more safely than the melee matchups. Yep. So I'm gonna talk about the bot matchup. Bot matchup is gonna be Lux Varus versus Caitlyn Senna. So again, it's kind of the same as the mid matchup. A lot of range. They can kind of last it kind of free. So, for example, in this game, based on the information we have gathered so much so far about the matchups and stuff, I would probably be looking towards ganking this mid lane and kind of opportunistically looking for this mid and bot options. I don't actually know if I said mid. I want to look for the top gank based on this information we have collected. Bot matchup, a lot of range. Again, kind of the same thing as the mid. Kind of the same situation as the mid matchup. They can free hit a lot more safely. So again, that means less trading, more HP. So yeah, initial game plan. Initial game plan. Look for the most high percentage gank available for you, which most likely will be found on top lane. Again, again, like based on this like pre-game analysis. Of course, in game it can really easily change, but yeah, again, like something we want to go into the game with an initial plan. So, for example, in this game, we could start top side and kind of like look for 3-cam top option, or we can just start bot side and then we can look for a top option at the end of our clear. So stuff like that. In general, like how you want to clear your jungle, how you want to start the game is you want to start pathing towards the lane you want to kill. For example, let's say in this situation again, based on this information, I'd be looking towards the top gank. Initial game plan. Top gank looks the most high percentage option. And again, what we do with this game plan when we have identified that okay, we maybe want to go path towards the top, start pathing towards the top, towards the lane you want to gank. So again, like I would be probably looking for the top side start here. So yep, covering for the invade. Place a ward. Okay. So one thing I want you to think about when you place these early wards is what is it actually going to achieve you? And this ward doesn't really achieve you much at all. So basically, if you're afraid of the late invade, for example, what I always do is I ward this brush instead, and that basically eliminates the fact that I have to pop into the river and kind of pop my neck out and put myself in the harm's way by walking in the river. I just don't want to take that risk. So if I'm scared of the late invade, I just ward this. But basically, this pixel ward it doesn't really give us that much value, and it kind of puts us into unnecessary risk here. Or the pixel brush, you have to walk into the river. You have to walk into the river, and again, not much value gain. So how you want to think about this pixel ward? This pixel ward can be useful. What it does, it denies a level 2 gank from buff to mid. That's all it does. And against Sylas, probably not going to happen. And another thing against a Sylas is a champion who basically has to start on the blue side, I mean on the red side, because his clear is so unhealthy that he cannot start on the blue side at all. So again, if we wanted to avoid the lane level 2 gank by Sylas, we would be needing to place this ward on the bottom side instead. So you can use this against champions like, for example, Graves, J4, Nunu. Those kind of champions like to do for the level, like to go for the level 2, but not really Sylas. Sylas wants level 3. He wants all his abilities unlocked, stuff like that. Yep, we end up heading bot. So again, if we are thinking, okay, I want to start bot every game because I get double leash, that's not what we want to think about. Again, what we want to think about is we want to start pathing towards the lane we want to gank. So yeah, I really like that we start blue, but again, I want you to think about, okay, why I want to start blue. That makes sense. So I've had to walk in the river, not value gained. Also a bit more about this pixel ward. Again, I said it, but I'm just going to type it down as well. Pixel ward denies level 2 gank to mid. Sylas is not going to go for it. Sylas is not likely to do it. And again, like when we are thinking about this level two gank situation, again we have to think about the mid matchup. Okay, double range, they can last it a lot more safely than the melee matchups. So again, like they are pretty safe in the lane to begin with. So always think about like have intent with your board. That's basically the idea. Yep, so sitting in camps. Yep, and another important thing here, as we expected, Salas is gonna start red. But again, always check Always check where the enemy jungler start, where the enemy jungler gets leashed on. So for example, in this game, bot side. So how we use the information, okay, he's at bot side. We probably both gonna end up on the top side and we're gonna fight for the top side scuttle. So that's how you want to utilize the information. We are going to be matching him to the top scuttle. Again, when we arrive to the top scuttle, we have to think about, okay, the sylas is most likely here unless he does show on during the early game. Yep, so again, bot lane shows late, so they leashed. That's a really good like thumb rule. Sylas actually goes for the level 2 bot gank, interesting. Yep, really good. We actually look at it. Yep, nothing else happening, so we move on. Really good, really good. Yep. So here's another important learning. What I always do in my games, I clear 3 camps. I'm gonna transition to the top side of the map. For example, in this game, I always want to check the lane I'm leaving from. Every time you leave your starting side of jungle, check the lane you're pathing away from. So again, like we want to make sure maybe these guys are really low here, but actually we don't know because we don't check. So if we end up here or we end up on the red side, and then we like check the bot side, then it's like, oh, they're really low. I could have killed them. So we kind of want to avoid that by always checking that before we go for it, before we switch sides. And yep, another thing is when you transfer to the opposite side of the jungle. Again, this is a long journey, so we have a lot of time to watch lane. So again, this is really good. We are watching for the top play. Maybe I skip my camps, go for the top play. Obviously not in this game because he's pretty high HP. So yeah, this is good. Also another thing on kindred, especially um, kindred craves, nidalee, stuff like this. Ranged junglers, we always want to have the red buff before we look for fights. So again, like a thumb rule or general rule. Always want to have red buff on ranged junglers, on ranged junglers, especially during the early game, because it's just going to give us so much more damage and so much more kite ability because our auto attack slow and stuff like that. Always want to have red buff on ranged junglers before looking for fights. Again, like it's situational. For example, this guy's really low. Obviously, go there and kill him, but like in general, we want to have the red buff because it's going to help us so much more when playing these ranged junglers. Yep, really good. I love this. So what I love about this is that you're actually looking at minimap. I don't want you to always check your lanes like boom, 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 boom. Like it's just gonna overwhelm you. So this is really good. We have our eyes on the minimap. We see this guy going really like close. He's obviously doing something. So yeah, this is a good indication that okay, now we need to click it. So yeah, really fucking good. I love that. Yep, he's really low. Maybe we want to gank it. Sylas shows up as well. Yep. Oh, she went to egg really fast. Okay, this is really good. Okay, I'm gonna write a bit about this. So yeah, we see he made a play again. Really important stuff. This is what we talk about when we talk about jungle tempo. We know exactly where enemy jungler is. For example, they take Drake. They gank someone like we see them on the board. So what we want to do always, we know exactly where enemy jungler is. Always look for immediate play elsewhere. For example, this top side. So why this top gank is so good is because we know exactly this guy cannot be there and contest us. So this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do all the time. We know where the enemy jungler is. Always look for something you can do with that information. Okay, he cannot be topside here, so maybe I can get away with this gank. This is really fucking good stuff. I love this. Yep, we actually not even need it, but yep, the idea is there. So again, I would be kind of afraid of walking into this brush. So basically what we talked about at the start of the game, we have to think that the sylas is going to match us for the top scuttle. And again, every time you enter river, think of it as an aggressive option. As an aggressive option. So every time throughout the game, whenever you go to river, think of it as kind of the danger zone. You are doing something aggressive, and when you're doing something aggressive, you always want to think about who's able to help me if someone comes here and fights me. So again, like Anivia is all the way in the base. Kled is actually 0 HP. No one is able to help you here. So yeah, I would be really afraid of walking into this guy because yeah, it's probably gonna end as battle for us. Okay. He's actually level 2 here. Oh, we do get the kill. But yeah, so you can see the idea here. So every time you enter river, just think about, okay, there's probably going to be someone here. So always expect that someone's going to be there. And then you want to assess, okay, can I beat them 1v1? Do I need someone help? Is there more than one person? Stuff like that. And again, this guy's actually level 2. Yep, it's a good flash. I like this flash a lot. Mechanically, really well played here, at least the start. So again, like flash the Q second part, and yeah. But now we could actually just kill this guy because he already used all his abilities. He's actually only level 2. So yeah, we kind of get scared of it. But again, like we should have been expecting this to begin with. But yeah, it's good. We are kind of trying to use our range here. That's really important with this range junglers. Always utilize the fact that you have range. Yep. Double longsword. Did he buy a potion? I guess it's fine. What I would most likely like to do is buy a pink ward. But again, like I don't want. On the other hand, I don't want to buy pink wards unless I have a plan for the pink ward. For example, if this Drake was up, then I would be looking forward to getting the pink ward because again, uh, pink sword checks is really important. But yeah, you can buy the potion. I usually don't like buying potion besides the start of the game, but yeah, it's obviously actually still good at this point of the game. So I wouldn't be worried too much about it. Yep, I like this. I like this a lot. So the reason why I like this is that obviously we saw this guy level 2 here. He had took 2 camps on the bottom side of the map. He's probably going to go for his blue buff. So again, like I'm not sure if he jungle tracked this properly, but again, like that's something we can kind of like expect here. Another thing is I like that you go for this play before you default to just hitting your camps. It's really important because basically what you want to do, if there's a play available, you always head for the play first and then for the camps. Play slash gank comes before your camps. So yeah, this is really actually really fucking good stuff. And the other thing I like about this is that we don't actually look at the lane, but even based on min map, we know that these guys are kind of pushed up here. So obviously, yeah, they're overextended on a long lane. What that means, uh, it's gonna take them a really long time to actually run to safety of the turret. My bot gank is good. Enemy team overextended. On a turret takes them a long time to run to safety. This guy's good. I'm just gonna type type the time here as well, 433, so you can look at it later. Yep, I like this. Ooh, so sylas actually ends up showing bot side anyway. So yeah, that's what junglers have to do this season. They don't even want their cabs. But yeah, I mean, it's still whatever. We do get the play here. The one thing I would like you to do in this kind of situation, obviously the sylas shows up now, but let's say a situation where the sylas didn't show up. So important thing when after successful ganks, you always want to help your laners to show in the wave because that's what they always do. They always want to push in the wave. It's basically how I think of laners is that there are 3 certainties in the laner's life: death, taxes, and pushing in the wave. After successful ganks, always help your laners to push in the wave. So basically, by pushing in the wave, it achieves a few things for you. The first thing this achieves is that your bot has prio. So if you, for example, want them to help you with Drake, they can now because they have a roam timer. Another thing is your bot can now recall. And third thing, they cannot get ganked because obviously they're gonna be they're gonna recall and you are helping them with this wave. So a lot of the time, what laners want to do or love to do is they're like 0 HP, but the laners are dead. So the play isn't over when the enemy is dead. The play is over when you and your teammate are recalling or in safety to do so. So that's how I want you to think about this place. For example, if your team dies here, you don't want to think about, okay, the play is over. I didn't even need to look there. You want to look there because if they are low HP, they're always going to creep for the wave because again, they always want to push the wave. Um, they can't get picked off by sylas or not the roam, whatever. They can't get picked off. And the most important thing this does is it's going to create a slow push. So when you crash a wave, say crashing wave, uh, when you crash a wave, it's going to start a slow push. So I'm just actually going to talk about it later on because it's probably going to happen in this game, and I'm going to just show you what it actually achieves. But yeah, obviously we get really, really roamed here. Let's go to see. We could have maybe seen this bot mid move, but again, like, let's try not to overwhelm myself. But yeah, we could have definitely seen that. Okay, again, this guy crashed his wave. He has a roam timer. So again, like, he has prio. He can now recall or he can roam, basically. So he has prio roam timer. That's how I would put it. But yeah, obviously we were probably expecting Salas to be topside hitting his camps. His entire blue side is up here, but yeah, I mean, this is what people love to do, especially in this season, especially on champions like Sylas. Like, this guy's HCS is at 5 minutes, and he's just ganking. Yeah, this is what laners have to do. Yep, yep. Really like that we are heading to the Crux first before Raptors. Really good general rule: when you run out of base to your camps, take them out the most camps. So Crux or Crump. Running out of base, good good default option to go for Crux or Crump, because again, like, when you pat like this, it makes it easier for you to transition to the other side of the jungle instead of you do like Raptors, Crux, and then you're like, oh, I have to run all the way back here to my wolves, or then you're kind of like bound to make a play on the top side. So we don't want to worry about a situation like that. We always want to end up making plays because we intended to go for those plays. And again, we looked at the top side really good. Again, we know where the enemy jungler is. He's on mid. So we can play on the mid side. Again, yep, just look for the immediate option where the enemy jungler is in. Yep, so we're going top side anyway. We see Sylas there. Okay. I'm kind of interested in why we decided to cover this top play without checking the wave. But the one reason why we would want to go for the top play here is that because we actually saw that this guy is in bad wave, it's gonna start slow pushing out. So again, slow pushing wave. Kled has to be in danger, kind of in a dangerous area. He puts himself, like, pops his neck out by lasting on an enemy turret. So again, what we did, for example, on the bot side, it's just really easy for the enemy jungler to gank that. So that's the only reason why I would have maybe wanted to look for this. Actually, I think it's fine. You can sleep. Uh, yeah, but again, like, I wouldn't waste my time thinking too much about waves. So we're just gonna find one really basic principle: the stacked wave or the crashed wave, and we're gonna talk about that once we come across it. Yeah, again, we see Sylas on the top side. So again, we have to think about, can I even make it to this play if it happens? No, you can't. So again, you could look for the immediate option elsewhere. So again, I would have liked to look at the mid lane there, or even bot lane. Again, like, so when you know what the enemy jungler is, this guy's all the way on here. So again, we have the tempo advantage to go mid before this guy can get there, or we can get to even the bot side of the map. So again, like, every time you see the enemy jungler, it has to mean something to you. Okay, now I can beat him to here, and I can kind of like get away with this and this. So yep, we are obviously playing towards the dragon here. Again, we want to look at the minimap. Bot lane is really fighting. They are really close to each other. They are chasing and running away. Again, like, peep the lane. Look what's going on. Kind of what we did early game with the Akshan. We want to do that all the time. Yep, just hitting the blue here. Again, we entering river. Something you yeah, you actually popped your potion. That's really good. Also, another thing I forgot to mention. We had 709. We got this kill on Sylas here. We get the mark, and now we play at least 3 minutes without using our mark, and it's gonna go on cooldown when you place it. So after you get your first mark, for example, jungler, which is usually it's your first mark, just mark someone. You can mark anyone you want, but like, usually you want to mark someone you want to gank. But in general, just like, use your mark of cooldown. You don't want to wait around until this mark comes around, because, for example, if you find a kill on these guys, as we do, as we head bot side here, just like, use the marks, just get it on cooldown. We were at 709, so we were around here. So yeah, again, like entering river, think of it as an aggressive option. And I was going to talk about this is a good time to pop your potion, and we actually did, so that's good. Just waiting for the scuttle, waiting for the mark. So really important thing here is to notice we are really close to level 6, so I don't want you to make any plays. I don't want you to start fighting for this Drake. I want you to get 6, and a really good. I think we are actually heading towards mid, where we actually do get 6. So that's awesome. Recognize we are really close to level 6. Prioritize hitting 6. Again, it unlocks you an ability, kind of like level 2 versus level 3. You obviously want as many abilities as possible, and of course, 6 is really important because you actually unlock your ult. So yep, we end up getting 6 here, and now we can look for plays. Now we can look for stuff. He clears the pink ward. Okay. Starts heading top. Again, we could actually beat him to the top gank. So again, like always, kind of like look out for these situations. These come across a lot when the jungler shows. It's like it gives you information. Okay, now I can get away with this and this, and I can beat him here and here. So kind of stuff like that. Just always look for those options because there's no way the enemy can punish you or be able to match you there. It's just not possible because they are behind on the map. Yep, and now we grab pink ward, really good. I would like to use the pink ward for the objective. So yeah, always when you head out for objectives, grab pink ward. Yeah, so general, like when you see people fighting like this, I would look at it more than just this 1 second. Like I assume you just guess that this guy dies here, but again, like just look at it a bit more. You can kind of like keep walking forward, and you don't need to out attack all the time, but like you have to kind of you have to get that information so you know whether or not I actually need to drop this camp. So yep, now we start heading this way. Yep, and now we should be expecting Darius to come back. Good, good, awesome stuff. So yeah, the play we have to make here has to be really fast. I'm gonna give you actually a timer to use in the game. So Darius dies here. He's gonna spawn at 834. So a general timer here, it takes 28 seconds for champions to reach the middle of the map when they respawn. So for example, you kind of have to think about this when you see, for example, the top laner here, Rico or respawns, it's going to take him 30 seconds to come back. So you have a 30-second window to try to dive this guy before Darius actually comes here. So what we do have to be really fast because again we see he's gonna spawn at 834. Yep. So we're gonna take 20 seconds forward, and yep, there he is. Pretty much 30 seconds later. So yep, that's obviously something you want to consider. Also, another thing I would like to look out for, tap and see the Sylas' items. Has he even recalled? He's been on the map for a long time. I feel like I haven't actually. Okay. Good, awesome ult. Just baiting him in on the turret. Good flash. Really good mechanical gameplay. This game actually really good, really good. I want to look at it again. So yeah, really good here. We are luring him into the trap, trying to dive when you have ult. Really fucking awesome stuff. Yep, flash away so he can finish us off. Really good flash at this game. Actually, I love your flash. Flash usage. You're not greeting with your flash. The way you want to use flash, especially in these early game situations, you want to avoid that key damage which will get you into kill range. It doesn't have to kill you, but it has to get you into that like a massive amounts of damage. For example, this Q, that will probably cause you death. So yeah, really fucking good. Oh, that's unfortunate. Do we miss an auto there? I think we do. There's nothing to worry about. I miss autos all the time. I don't even think we miss an auto. But yeah, nothing to worry about here. We kind of wanted to kill. It was really close. And again, like the way I think of trading, uh, wait, actually, I have to put my phone to the charger. So the way I think about trading gold and trading kills and stuff like that when I'm playing these carry junglers is my mentality is always, okay, the gold on me is gonna be more valuable than the gold on you. So I don't really mind trading kills, especially early game when I'm playing carry junglers. Carry jungler mindset. Gold on me is more is more valuable than the gold on the enemy team. Especially early game, feel free to trade kills. Because again, like the idea is that carry jungler, I want as much gold into me as possible. That's like my main goal when I'm playing these champions. I love to play kindred, I love to play graves or stuff like that. But yeah, end up dying. Okay, Sylas on top side of the map. Again, we can look for this immediate play. I love this. We are looking for it. We are looking for it. Yep, this is really good. Nothing else happening. Okay, we go back to hitting our camp. Who was that? I don't know. But yep. Let's see, we are probably expecting our top side to be down here. We have top side anyway. He's still on top side. It's fine. Yep. And again, the play is over. The play isn't over again because Elena died. The play is over because they are so high HP. So again, like if this Darius was really low HP, just think of, okay, the play isn't over. The play is over when they are recalling a set to do so. Play isn't over. When Lena dies, the play is over when the winner has recalled. So basically, that's how I want to think about this. Like, uh, you don't want to think about it like, okay, I dropped this play because he's dead. You want to think about it, okay, I dropped this play because they are so high HP, I cannot kill them anyway. But yeah, we go back to camps. Now defend this top turret. We're waiting for Kled ult. Awesome. Like this. Again, it's really important to notice that, okay, Kled actually has ult here. He can really come collapse here. Same thing with Sion, and I actually can't think of any other champions. But yeah. Now he stole your ult. Oi, oi, oi. Yep, some double ult action. Jesus, that's messy. It's a bit dicey. Wow. Let's actually see. Yeah, maybe we created a bit for this. Yeah, I guess we couldn't solo kill him anyway. So yeah, it's I guess it's correct to wait for it. But again, like we get the information. Okay, he was actually on Rift Road, so it's really easy for him to actually come here and collapse. But yeah, again, like what we have to do here has to be really fast because we don't really want to take the 2v2, especially when we are this behind compared to the Sylas. So also another thing before you take these 2v2s and stuff like that, just always check for items because this is the time 12 to 14 minutes in the game. 12 to 14 minutes in the game is usual timer for when people finish their mythics. So that's obviously something you want to look out for. You don't really want to fight the guy with mythic when we have Noon Kuba, you know? So yeah, actually David check tab. Yeah, so our lane doesn't have item yet. This guy already has Night Harvester, so he's really fucking strong at the moment. So yeah, that's something you want to consider when going for these 2v2 situations. Yeah, but now we start turning towards Drake. We are really close to Mythic here as well. So again, I would be kind of afraid of the Sylas being around here. He actually shows it from the mid side. So again, like kind of the basic idea here is that where we are making for this play, which is out on the top side, this guy recalled, the Sylas recalled instantly pretty much. So again, like we have a bit of tempo for this bot play, but it has to be really fast because this Sylas is not far behind us. So again, like we have to recognize, okay, we have a bit of like advantage to this play, but it has to be really fast because otherwise they're going to collapse us. And again, we are losing. We don't want to take the fair fight. We want to only take down fair fights because we lose the fair ones. Yep, they show up. Yep, and now we want to leave. It's too late for us. No, it's not. Actually, I can type more about this. Is that 24 minutes in the game? Usual time for we'll finish the mythic. So again, like this is when you also want to look towards finishing a mythic. So again, like put some priority on like, okay, I just need a little bit of gold to get my mythic, and then I can come back and fight people. Finishing your mythic. Yep, again, you probably don't want to fight. Where's Anivia? Anivia's in bot. Okay, he wants to invade us. Really well played by the sylas. Could you have avoided this? Also, another thing, this is again the mark thing. This is like always have your mark on cooldown. Just in case you kind of like go into a fight, this is gonna help you snowball the game further. I wouldn't worry too much about this invade. He obviously played it well, tracked you pretty well. So yeah. Yep, and just pinging your team. Okay, he's here. He's here. You want to leave because these guys are pretty much a raid boss right now. Yep, but now we know we have to concede the bot side of the map because Salas has been in our house with dirty shoes. So yeah. And again, now we finished our mythic. Now we can maybe start looking forward to kind of making more plays here. Salas goes mid. The team dies. Yep. Salas is really starting to snowball this game here. Yep, there's probably no blue for us. But yeah, again, like we can think that this guy's now on the top side of the map. There's not much for us to do. The only thing you really have an option here to think of is again like recognize, okay, he took my blue stuff. He's been on the bot side for some while now. He's probably gonna head to the top side of the map. And what you can do with this information uh, is again like I'm just gonna type the general philosophy in league. When behind, you want to avoid and trade, for example, trade plays, trade map, trade objective, stuff like that. And when ahead, match and deny. That's the basic idea. So when you're ahead, you just want to go wherever the Salas is and just try to like fight him and kill him because you're stronger. But when behind, you want to avoid and trade. And another thing here is that in league we always want to create the unfair fight. We always want to create an unfair fight. So we don't want to take the fair fights, and this becomes especially important when we are losing because again we have to avoid and trade because we don't even win the fair fight anymore. So creating the unfair fight is really important, something you need to look out for in all of your games. For example, here now we kind of reset back to top side again. Now we should be expecting that okay, Sals might be here. So what we need to do, we need to look for the unfair fight. So for example, this Darius play here, this is an unfair fight because Darius is alone. We have a lot of people here. So this is something you can take. But again, I wouldn't get too excited here because again, like if we do head into a unfair fair fight, we're actually gonna lose because we are so much behind. Actually gonna pick up Sylas here, pick up a lot of kills here. Awesome, good stuff. Yep, awesome. So now we need to think about okay, every time we get kills like this, as like this, always think about what you can do with it. How can I push my advantage more? Because right now you have all the freedom on the map. You can look for invades, stuff like that. Probably at this point of the game, we are kind of lost on what Campus has done and what he has not. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking for the invade. So the next best thing you can do, grab an objective. Okay, no objective up. Okay, the next checkbox, mid turret. So yeah, this is really good. I'd like to hit the mid turret. So again, the basic rule is that don't go invading when you're not not sure which camps are up. Not sure if the camps are up at all. So basically, you want to use the time to gain something more valuable. Again, carry junglers, you want as much gold as into you as possible. So the best way to get gold, get his mid turret here. Oh, if camps are up. And yeah, we kill enemy team. Always look for the most value you can get while they're dead. So again, usually invade objectives, turrets, stuff like that. Yep, it's really good here. We end up taking the mid turret. Our action actually shows up. Yep, save the E up until he's actually leaves the ult. Really fucking good. Yep, he actually picked the aggro. There I would just creep for the turret anyway. Okay, let's move on. It is really fighting. Again, this is a really good time to recall. So the important thing here to notice is that Herald is going to be up in a minute. Herald is actually going to be up in 20 seconds. So again, like I'm gonna what would I type here? Good reasons to recall. We want a team fight. Enemy has spawned. So like the general rule, you win a team fight, you get what you can, and then you recall as they spawn up because never, pretty much never in League of Legends, you want to take two team fights in a row because usually it's not going to be win-win. It's usually going to be win-lose at that point because again, you're sitting on a lot of gold, your team is sitting on a lot of gold. Again, we want to make sure we are the strongest we can be and just recall spending gold. We don't want to go for two team fights without recalling, without spending our gold. This goes to the team in general. So, especially at this like later stage of the game, late to mid game, you want to kind of look to sync your recall with your team. That's really important. Uh, Look to sync your recall with your team. So basically, what this does is that you come out of base, you spend your gold, and your teammate comes out of base, you spend your gold. So you don't actually need, no one in your team has to like kind of like delay the play. For example, Kled here, for example, can like stay on the map for longer, and then he has to recall after you guys are already like done with the play. You're like, okay, we are ready to go, but these guys are like, oh, I had to recall, I had to recall. So that's why you always want to sync your recall with the team, especially with Baron when you get Baron, because you want to be on the map using the Baron, and you can't do that if you are creating for camps after doing Baron. And team is already like in the mid, like ready to push, and you're like, oh, I need to recall, I need to recall, I need to recall. So again, what I talked about, just don't look for the fight. We have a lot of gold. Another thing is the general rule. General rule, when over 1k 5 gold, look to recall ASAP. The reason why it's 1k 5 gold is that because there's no combat in the game, which is more expensive than that. Also, so basically you always guarantee you get at least a component. So for example, here we could go for BF Sword or oh my god, what did I do? Or whatever you want. Probably go for Wits End this game, I guess. Yep. Yep, this is really good. So we want to spend the most gold as possible. Again, we don't really want the axe because then we're not gonna get this pickaxe anyway. So yeah, very good buy. I love it. So again, you see what the recall did for our team. Like they are ready to go. This first recalled ages ago. Like he has no need to recall. He doesn't want to recall. So what he does is he's on the mid, he's looking for plays, and you're all the way here, and then your team's kind of like fighting here. So if you actually start losing these fights, it's not because of your team, like, oh, they decided to fight. Like, it's really predictable that they are gonna look for fights because they already recalled. So what we have to think about is, okay, how could we have avoided that? And the answer to that is recall with your team. Obviously, it's bad they fight without you, but then again, we have to think about kind of their recalls here. Oh, good stuff. Nice. Can we even get this? Oh, awesome. Really good. Playing really patient. Can we get some more here? He has no mana. We can cut him really well. Perfect. Really good. Again, think about, okay, what can we achieve? The Drake is up. Good. Head for the Drake instantly. Yeah, but again, same as before. Just recall. So now is a good time to recall. So the way I think about this situation when you kill the enemy team, the least I want to do is I want to get to the map the same time as the enemy team. So for example, this Darius here dies. I want to have recalled by the time this guy is actually back on the map. So again, it avoids our team going into a 5v4 situation to begin with. So yep, really good. Recall for item. Yep, so now I want to think about this Baron. Again, but now we don't want to do what our team did for us. We want to wait for this guy to be here with us. So again, you can see how you are kind of pathing this aggressively. Of course, with sylas in the bot lane here. Like you are doing this, like you are doing exactly the same thing your team was doing when you were here in the blue side. You recalled, your team had to recall later because they didn't care about the sync. So now we are kind of like all aggressive here, like, okay, I'm ready to go, but your team isn't actually ready to go. So again, like this is a really common scenario. You have a split pusher in the bottom lane, Baron is up. When people start responding to the split, this is a good moment to, okay, now we can maybe look to force this Baron. Because again, like, especially they have the smite, the smiter, they're actual jungle champions in the bot side. They have no smite. I'd be looking towards getting this Baron. 2120. Uh, enemy jungler responds to split push. Look for Baron opportunity. And this is like, so this is how you want to play with these split pushing champions, is that you let them do their stuff, and when someone does respond, because obviously they have to respond, because otherwise he's going to go through these turrets, that's when you, okay, now I have freedom to kind of like set up the Baron, go for the Baron, force the Baron, stuff like that. So again, we come kind of back to the same stuff we talked about earlier. We know exactly where enemy jungler is. Look for something we can do elsewhere instantly. We end up defending the turret. Team's kind of fighting in the mid lane. Here is how when I would just ping my team. Okay, danger, danger. I guess the Caitlyn here is dead, but like the Sylas is the most important member in the team, and he's alive and doing well, and he's coming to your team. Yep, really risky here to even jump into this range. I'm surprised he didn't catch you with there. But like when you jump to this range, you jump out of your W, he's gonna pull you in. You're gonna lose your short cooldown dash there, and it's just gonna be really risky. Especially like this guy is a really fucking tanky guy here. Stab by Stone Mail, Device Hunter. Yep. So we actually don't want to fight that guy. So I wouldn't even try to like trade with him like this here. So kind of like be mindful of your W when you jump out. Mm-hmm. Yep, again, our team is recalling. So now is a moment when you don't necessarily need to match the recall with the team. So what you can do instead is you can do exactly this. You can defend the turrets. You can kind of remain on the map, because the reason why I don't want to recall here is because we don't really have that much gold anyway. We don't really have a reason to recall. Okay, we can look for this guy with Varus here. He has to use Coast. Good. Again, we see two players on the bot side. The bot lane is actually bot. It's a really good moment to look for Baron. Two guys in the bot lane. Like I don't know what the fuck they are doing there at 23 minutes. So this is something which happens in Silver all the time, and this is something you want to punish. These guys actually show up as well. They die. Again, everyone is dead. Really good opportunity to go for the Baron. Good, we go for the Baron. Again, we want to think about what's the most valuable thing we can do with them dying here. And it's going to be the Baron. In general, it's always going to be the Baron. Give me a second, my second monitor is... Okay, fixed. Yep, good. We get Baron. Again, recall with the team, sync and recall with the team, so we avoid the situation we talked about. So these are really common thing junglers do. They create for these camps and then they want to recall. So we can actually see what happens. Take these champs. Yeah, now we want to recall. Your team's already in the mid, like they're ready to go. They're ready to fight, you know? And then we kind of start running into stuff like, oh, my team's just into the Baron. They went like 4v0 or some shit like that. But yeah, it's just bound to happen when you do stuff like this. So don't stack your team by creating a recall. The only thing you can do here is just like, if, for example, you want to go for a Drake, you can just type in, wait, don't fight, danger, 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 stuff like that. So critical team with Baron. So this is especially important with Baron. Yeah, so you can see how they are all the way here. Like, this is how you throw games. You go all the way aggressive here while the team is not there. But it's, you are not here because we kind of created for the recall. So yeah, obviously you always have to kind of like be greedy. As I said, the main goal is to get as much money as possible. You also like at this point of the game, 24 minutes, especially when you have Baron, like we just have to play with the team. We just have to stick with the team, kind of like play as a unit. Because this time, when you start dying, it's just the dead time is going to be really long. So yeah, you can trade good. So general Baron macro, never 5-man mid, because look what happens. It's really easy for the enemy team to just line up here and defend the wave. So basic Baron macro, always have at least 2 pushing waves. So if you don't want to if you don't want to split push yourself, you can tell Clyde, okay, go side lane, stuff like that. So basically, what it's going to do is that the way you utilize Baron is you have these 2 lanes pushing. You, for example, threaten this top turret here, and then you threaten this mid turret here. So can I just check up mini map? Can I explain a bit my epic pen. Yep. So basically, the way you siege in League of Legends is that you create scenarios where you can free hit turrets, and the way you create scenarios where you can free hit turrets is that, let's say you have a neutral wave here. No one cares about this wave. Bot wave is irrelevant here. We don't want to push 3 waves. We want to push 2 lanes. So we have people in mid lane pushing this turret. We have 5 people here. The enemy team is all the way here, like they're bum 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 bum, all the way here. It's really easy for them to just kill the wave. We are not gonna get much down. But when we have a second wave here pushing the top turret, what's gonna happen is that these guys are like, okay, we have to go defend this top turret. So what they do is that they start rotating towards the top turret to defend this top turret, and that's gonna give you some space in the mid lane to hit this turret. And then you get to the next turret, for example, and we are situated tier 2 turrets, 5 people here, bum 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 bum, and we are pushing in the mid. We just want to go through the mid lane. What's gonna happen again? They're gonna do what they do in this game, and they're just gonna stack here. So what we do instead, we go to the top lane. Then they are actually again they're gonna start rotating, and then we have the numbers here, and then we can again free hit the turret. And when they come back from top to mid like this, then again we get to free hit the mid turret. So that's basically how you siege. You only you play with the minions. The minions are your friend, especially when you have Baron. That's how you work the minions. And the reason why we want to go for we want to start the push from the side lanes instead of the mid lane is because let's say there's one guy defending here. Uh, there's one guy defending here. There's one guy defending here. If we 5-man go mid, it's really easy for this guy to just come over here, shift towards mid, and this guy as well. He's gonna come over here and shift towards mid. But what's gonna happen when we start pushing the top lane instead? This guy, yep, the mid guys can really easily move, but this guy has all this way to cover, so he's not even gonna make it to defend this wave. Stuff like that. So that's how we utilize Baron in this game. So yeah, we always have 2 waves pushing. Yeah, because yeah, it's just sad that we have to do this. So yeah, this is kind of let us hit the turret anyway. But yeah, obviously this is way slower than if we were pushing 2 turrets at the same time. And another thing to notice here is that where is it here? Side lane tier 2 turrets are really important. Side lane tier 2 turrets grant 600 gold, double kill, really good. That's the most gold you get out of any turret. So I'm actually going to go back here. So this turret, tier 1, 300, tier 2, mid 300, tier 3 turrets, all of them 0 gold. Only 50 global, so yeah, 0 gold. And sidelane turrets, 300 gold from the first one, 600 from the second one, 600, and again 0 gold. So yeah, and again, like that goes back to why we want to start this push from the side lanes. It's easier harder to defend than mid lane, and again, it's going to create scenarios where we get to siege the mid lane for free, kind of thing. And obviously, gold value, really good. So that's obviously something. Always when you get Baron and you have both side tier 2 turrets standing like this, that's when we want to look for. Uh, we want to look for the turrets. Because again, we want to generate as much gold. The most gold we can get is by these 2 turrets. Okay, so now we actually get to see what happens when we go to push the bot turret as well. We get the bot turret for free. They start rotating. We can catch them within the rotation, stuff like this. This is really good. This is what you want to do with Baron. Awesome. So now we start to catch them in rotation. We kind of go deep here ourselves, but yeah. I mean, this style was really good. But yeah, that means just go way too deep because again, like our team is Nivea is all the way in the river. He's actually recall. He doesn't care at all. Now he's actually coming. But yeah, and again, Lux is all the way here. So we want to be the ones doing the catching. We don't want to be the ones getting catched with this Baron and sieging the rotations. So yeah, we're actually gonna run out of time here soon, but I'm just gonna see if there's anything interesting here. So we'll wrap the next Baron. We can look for the next Baron fight, for example. Again, we can use a split push, but how you have to approach this is that you have to wait for the split push to actually become active. So actually wait for someone to actually go there and respond to the threat. So yeah, it's kind of chill around here. Yep, Sylas shows. Yep, everyone shows. Good, awesome. Instant, pull the trigger, get the Baron. Oh, amazing stuff. You don't want to be the enemy guy here and try to make a play on the bot side when the Baron is up. Let's see what happens here. So it comes. We bait with our ult, awesome. Let's get a triple kill. Yeah, and we probably end the game here. Actually don't end the game here. Interesting. Actually, let's look at this fight. I wanted to look at the fight, so let's look at this fight. Bit about target selection. Basically, how you want to play kindred and kind of ADC champions in general. You always just want to hit the target you are safe to hit. Just get as much damage as you can, as safely as possible. You're not a diving champion. You don't want to hop over this wall and try to just snipe this guy. That's someone else's job. That's his job for the Kled, for example, here. But yeah, really good. With just remaining safe, getting free hits. That's what this champion is all about. An ADC champion is all about. Really good team fight. Yeah. So how you want to think about it? It's just like avoid as much damage and deal as much damage. That's basically the way. And you, at this stage of the game as well, you're just ready to the tanks anyway, so they're not an issue for you. Yep, then we get the Drake. I think we just end here, so run through mid, but I guess we just want the Drake here first. Yep, good stuff. So yeah, about there's some improvements with the Baron. Sync frequency with Baron, and always have at least 2 pushing waves. That's the most important thing about the Baron. Yeah, we actually didn't get to look at the slow push situation, but that's something you can find in the Nathan Mod Rexa guide. I'm just going to show you real quick. This is really good stuff for Nathan Mod is the saltu guy, of course. So here he talks a lot about slow push, stacking wave, stuff like that. What they mean and what they need to do. So this is really important. It's not only for Rexa. This is for junglers in general. So yeah, this whole minion wave kind of stuff is really fucking good. I really recommend you watch that. Really excellent stuff. Yep. Let's see, do we have anything really important to look out for? Well, the early game stuff, we just have to think about where the enemy jungler started. Where the enemy jungler started and what it means for us. We are probably going to face him on the same side scuttle if that's what we are doing. Uh, so yeah, early game tracking, really easy for you. Just always look out for where they start. And just think about the matchups a bit more. So always when you look out for this, for example, the double meta matchup, that's something you want to think about when you go into the game. So always like try to go into the game with a plan. But always the more important thing is that you can react to the map. That's like the general thing. Yep. And the really important thing here is that what we even did a few times really correctly is that uh, look for the immediate play elsewhere when the enemy jungler shows or does something. So that's really important. That's how we use tempo in this game, and in general, really good stuff. Sync regard the team with Baron. Yep. So yep, I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. I'm gonna send it to you. I'll throw it ASAP. And what I want you to do is just like watch over it a few times. And I'm just gonna probably type this to you in Discord as I sent this. But yeah, yep. Just watch it a few times. It's a lot of information. 1 hour of me just monologuing about the game. So yeah, just watch it back a few times to make sure at least something sticks. And obviously, this is something you can come back to later on to kind of like keep in check. Okay, this is what he told me to do. This is what I need to focus on and stuff like that. But yep, good luck with your climb, and I'll be back. I'll send this recording to you as soon as possible.